Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Monday, August the 8th, 2016.
Commissioner Repenning, James, Davis, and Jacinto are present. President James, we have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau of Street Services.
Art Martinez, Bureau of Street Services.
Vivian Marquez, sitting in for Shram Karagani, LA Sanitation.
Mahmoud Karimzadeh, Bureau of Engineering.
Chris Smith, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Ruben Flamenco, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning, Ted Jordan, Public Works General Counsel.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President James, we received speaker cards under general public comment. We have no commentary under the Neighborhood Council comment section, and we also have speaker cards under items 1 and 2.
Okay, let's go ahead and take general public comment. Mr. Spindler on general public comment. Mr. Spindler, WS, the card says dummy. Mr. Spindler on general public comment. He passes. Mr. Herman on general public comment. Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman on general public comment. Okay, then we'll close general public comment. We'll also close our neighborhood council commentary as well. Our first item of business, the approval of the meeting minutes from the meeting of Wednesday, July 20th, 2016. Is there a second to my motion that we approve those meeting minutes by Commissioner Repenning? Any objection? Without objection, we'll approve those meeting minutes. Agenda item number 1 from the Bureau of Sanitation, Council District 11, recommending the board approve and forward the report with transmittals to the mayor for authority to execute the agreement between the City of Los Angeles and the City of Carson, Long Beach, Torrance, and the California Department of Transportation, Los Angeles County Flood Control District, and the County of Los Angeles, regarding the administration and cost sharing for the development of the Contaminated Sediment Management Plan for the Dominguez Channel, and request the mayor to authorize the president or 2 commissioners of the Board of Public Works to execute the agreement. Speaker card on number 1, Mr. Spindler on number 1. Mr. Spindler on number 1. No Mr. Spindler on number 1. Mr. Herman on number 1. Mr. Herman on number 1. Mr. Yu, go ahead, sir.
Good morning, Commissioner. My name is Charlie Yu from Bureau of Sanitation. This board report is about cost sharing of the MOA between the city and the 6 other public agents. The background is U.S. EPA established the Domingo Channel TMTL in 2012. At the same year, regional board adopted the MS4 permit for the LA County. Domingo Channel TMDL is incorporated in the MS4 permit. One of the requirements is stakeholder in the Domingo Channel watershed should develop a contaminated sediment management plan. And the city and 6 other agencies decide to cooperatively develop a management plan. And the purpose of this MOA is to fund the development of the contaminated sediment management plan to meet the MS4 permit requirement. And county has been the leading agency to develop this plan and administrate the MOA. And the total cost for the development contaminated sediment plan is about $203,000, and city's share is about $28,357.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for Mr. Yu on agenda item number 1? I don't either. Is there a second to my motion that we adopt agenda item number 1 by Commissioner Jacinto? Any objection?
Thank you.
Without objection, we will do so. Any issues sending number 1 forthwith? We'll send number 1 forthwith. Thank you. Agenda item number 2. Council District 4, the Bureau of Engineering, recommending that the board approve an additional budget authority, and this is regarding 1680 Sunset Plaza Drive Emergency Bulkhead Project, recommending the board approve an additional budget authority of $297,000 and authorize a revised construction budget of up to $810,000 and authorize the execution of a revised construction order for the 1680 Sunset Plaza Drive Emergency Bulkhead Project to Kiewit Infrastructure West Company for a not-to-exceed amount of $910,000. That includes contingency. Mr. Spindler, you have a card on number 2. Says W.S. Spindler on number 2. No, Mr. Spindler. Mr. Herman on number 2. You have a card on number 2.
Do we still have general public comment?
General public comment was called.
Was satisfied?
Yes, it's called.
And for the record, there was no one to speak on general public comment, right? And you won't reopen it?
We called the names.
Oh, okay. Well,
Go ahead, sir.
you should start every day at 10 o'clock as opposed to whenever you want to start it. But besides that, transparency, transparency. How far does it go? Monica Rodriguez no longer is the vice president, as you all well know. It is up to Penny to hold the ground and hold the seat to see that this authorization of construction budget is up to its par. We need a check and balance. Right, Mr. Spindler? They called your name. But general public comment is no longer on the issue. So there's a chance you might not be able to speak. But I will approve of your speaking because we now know that Plaza Drive Emergency Bulkhead Project is nothing but a flooze. Infrastructure? How long have I waited? How long have you? I'm back on track, West Company, for a not to exceed amount of 910. But this is a contingency with potential threat to harm the community. So I say to you, CD4, stop becoming poverty pimps no more. Budget the authority with checks and balance. Once again, a deficit ceiling with checks and balance. After all, Penny, you have a new seat. Monica's got her defeat. She's running from everybody who's planned the deceit. Let it not be James, let it not be me, but Wayne Spindler's here to speak.
Mr. Spindler, you have a card on number 2.
So, let's take the roll call today. Let's see here. Kevin?
Present.
And we got Joel, who sold me out.
Present.
And we got Commissioner Davis. He's getting his friend Current Price in all kinds of trouble.
Present.
Penny, she's always here.
Monica! Monica, where's my mommy, Monica?
We seem to be one short. Well, that's bullshit. CD4, David Rue, what did you do with my Monica? Where's my Monica? What did you do with her? Somebody told her something? Come on. David Rue, CD4, Bureau of Engineering, where's my Monica? Where did she go? She got out in time. She gave up $138,000 a year to do fucking nothing for some reason. Why would you give up that kind of money? You know, you didn't know this. Monica brought her family in a couple of months ago and sat her mother in your chair and took photographs on an afternoon. You didn't know that. She was telling everybody in Spanish, mi sueño, mi grande sueño es este trabajo. Yo quiero mucho este trabajo. So what the fuck happened? She loved her job. Why the fuck would she quit with 3 years to go? What did you do with the Monica? Somebody did something. Now, it's your turn, Joel. Come back to us. Come back to the people. Kevin, come back to the people. Resign too. There's no hope for you, Penny. There's no hope for you, Davis. But there is hope for you too. The Joel and the Kevin can come back to us. Fight for the neighborhood initiative.
2 minutes.
And let's take this fucking city back.
Thank you, Mr. Spindler. On number 2, Mr. Louis.
Good morning. My name is Richard Louis with the Bureau of Engineering, Geotechnical Engineering Group, and I am here for the 1680 Sunset Plaza Drive Emergency Bulkhead Project. The motion in front of you today is recommending an additional $297,000 for the project and to authorize the execution of a revised construction order for a not to exceed amount of $910,000. Some background on the project. Sometime before March 4th, 2016, a private contractor without authorization removed the support for the public street, leaving it as a threat to public safety. This hazardous condition needs to be repaired immediately for the street to be made safe again and for the street to be opened to the public. Therefore, on April 22nd, 2016, City Council declared the repair of the street to be an emergency and authorized a construction budget of $613,000 for this project. On April 26, 2016, after contacting the BOE Liaison Commissioner, the first interested contractor on the rotating geotechnical structural emergency contractor list was issued a notice to proceed. The scope of work is to install an approximate 30-foot long, 18-foot high bulkhead wall on a time and materials basis for a not to exceed amount of $499,000. This construction order allowed work to begin while the city engineer negotiated a lump sum cost for the project. However, in the last week of July, it was estimated that the project had reached the not to exceed limit of $499,000. Therefore, two Fridays ago, on July 29th, the Board of Public Works adopted a motion authorizing the execution of a revised construction order to the amount of not to exceed $613,000, while the lump sum negotiations continued. The city and the contractor have now negotiated a lump sum agreement of $810,000 for the project. Additionally, the city engineer has worked with the CAO to identify additional funds to cover the additional cost for the project. Therefore, we are recommending that this board approve an additional $297,000 for the project, authorize a revised construction budget of $810,000, and authorize the execution of a revised construction order for a not to exceed amount of $910,000. Thank you if you have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Louie. Colleagues, I just want to put a statement on the record that might answer any questions that you have regarding this project, and that is, it is my understanding, and because of potential litigation, we're not going to get into details here. I don't think it would be appropriate to get into details, but it is my understanding that the city is going through a process through the city attorney's office for the potential recovery of costs related to this project. If you have any questions, you might individually check with a representative from the city attorney's office. I do want to thank, by the way, first of all, Richard and the Bureau of Engineering and the Bureau of Contract Administration, Council District 4, Commissioner Jacinto on the emergency approvals, everything that helped to move this thing along. Gary Lee Moore himself drafting the motion for the City Council. This is something that, quite frankly, the city stumbled upon and discovered the action in place, if you will, that created danger to the community because of the potential slippage of a hillside. The road wasn't stable. The road has been closed for months to do the work, so it's been a real inconvenience for the community around there, and the city has moved really as fast as it can to solve the problem, and it really has been all at the Public Works level in partnership really with the council office. So thank you all. I don't have any questions. Anybody? Okay, so one question now that right after I said I don't have any questions. I understand this is the negotiation of the lump sum with the contractor. The $910,000 includes contingency, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so, and that's going to get us there, right? I mean, that's what the negotiated amount is?
Yes, that will get us there.
Okay, great. Thank you. Anything else, colleagues? Okay, Commissioner Santos made a motion that we adopt agenda item number 2. I'll second it. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2. Any issue sending number 2 forthwith? We'll send number 2 forthwith. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Mr. Campos, have we cleared the desk?
Yes, you have.
Okay, then we are adjourned with the exception of the Bureau Heads meeting that takes place at 10:30 in the conference room. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice Monday.